Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Halo Effect. I am your host, Robert Lockhart. Hey, let's talk some baseball, huh? First things first, I'm going to get to a little bit of what's going around baseball before I get to Angel stuff. Let's see. I had completely forgotten to inform you guys about what the Padres did. The Padres signed a couple of relievers out of the Orient. One from Japan, that was Matsui. One from Korea, that's Go. Both are going to be competing for back end of the bullpen work, either a setup or probably a closer role. The Padres got that going for them, and at the very least, a few selections for the closer. They really need to get on the horse and get some outfielders, because you're missing two. If you go with what you have on hand, it's not going to work. That will drop you way below spec in wins and stuff like that. Bad idea. The Yankees have signed Marcus Stroman to a 2-year deal. That's not too bad of a signing for them. Good finesse pitcher to stick behind Garrett Cole. That one works really well, actually, for them. Obviously, it's not going to stop them from garnering anybody else. It's the Yankees. Let's face it. Dodgers, same thing. They got Teoscar Hernandez on a 1-year deal, and it's not going to stop them from spending. So, let's see. Decent-sized trade that happened between the Giants and Seattle. The Giants acquired Robbie Ray, a pretty good left-handed pitcher. Unfortunately, he's not really going to see the mound till maybe June or so. So, it doesn't bode too well for the Giants anyway. Seattle, in return, got Anthony Desclafani, right-handed pitcher, and the return of Mitch Haniger to the Emerald City. I don't know if that's enough of a bat to really kind of get you guys where you want to go in Seattle. So I would be looking for another bat, for your outfield perhaps. But hey, it's big help. We all know what Mitch Haniger did for you guys over the years. So, that said, the Giants also signed right-handed pitcher Jordan Hicks, and wanting to stretch him out to a starter. Why? He's a reliever. I think the Cardinals tried that. It was an abject failure. Don't do that. You're setting yourself up for failure in this case. All right, on to the Angels. The Angels have done nothing. Still have done nothing. It's not to deter much, considering the fact that most of the big fish are still out there. Blake Snell's still out there. Jordan Montgomery's still out there. Cody Bellinger's still out there. JD Martinez. The really big fish are still out there. So it's not much of a deterrent. If they're missing out on these guys, that would really work my last nerve. And most Angel fans, for that matter. But, no, they're still there. So, as far as I know, they're working on a deal. As far as I can tell, the Angels are a front runner for Blake Snell right now. The Giants, kind of dropped out a little bit after the Jordan Hicks deal. But, again, I would beware of Blake Snell. He can be really good. When he was with Tampa Bay, he was very, very good. Spent 2 seasons at least with a sub-3 ERA and was very dominant. He would always last maybe about 6 or 7 innings. Very rarely would he last less than 6. But as soon as he went to the Padres, he started having issues. I don't get it. I don't know. But, it was rare when he got past the 5th. He would go 5 and that would be it, because he would have expelled way too many pitches. I don't know. He did work to a sub-3 ERA. He did win the National League Cy Young Award, so that's something. Maybe the right pitching coach, possibly Barry Enright, could fix that. He can get him throwing fewer pitches, working more to the 6th and 7th inning these days. Would be beneficial. Perhaps it would. But you never can tell. In this particular case, again, I still consider Blake Snell a 1B kind of pitcher. He's better than a 2, not quite a 1. His agent Scott Boras would have you thinking otherwise, trying to make everybody think that he's compared to Randy Johnson. Really? The big unit? We're talking 6'10", 100-mile-an-hour fastball that scared the daylights out of people, an almost unhittable slider, and a wicked changeup. That big unit, that Randy Johnson, you're comparing Blake Snell to him? Wow, Scott, you're either delusional or you're hoping other people are. My lord. No, Blake Snell is not Randy Johnson. The last person that you can compare to Randy Johnson is actually something you would have to compare Randy Johnson to, because it wasn't until like back in the 20s and 30s with Walter Johnson from the Washington Senators. It was a big 6'9", 6'10" righty who was an absolute dominating fastball. You know, the guy had such long arms, the ball was already halfway to the plate by the time he released it. But, I mean, that's Randy Johnson to a T. Very long, lanky arms. You had a split second to make your decision whether you're going to swing or not with him on the mound. But anyway, that's the only person you can compare to Randy Johnson, and actually you're not comparing anybody to Randy Johnson, you're really just comparing Randy Johnson to them. So in that particular case, no. There's nobody in this industry right now that you can compare to Randy Johnson. No one. Not even Blake Snell. That is one of the dumbest comments I've ever heard in my life. Now, with that said, let's say Snell's not a good pitcher. He is. Moving on, I still think the best way for the Angels to go is Corbin Burns, getting him from Milwaukee. In return, you got to send probably one of our guys in our rotation right now. That's probably what's going to take. Somebody who's already major league ready, someone who's already on the mound in a rotation is what's going to take to get Corbin Burns. Corbin Burns is somebody who's worked to a sub-3 ERA the last 4 years. He's a solid #1 guy. He's a former NL Cy Young Award. If you want to entice Milwaukee to give him to you, it's going to take a bit. Now, even though it's 1 year service, to make it worth that, you make the trade, you extend him for another 8 years. That's how you make it worth it. Because you got the money to do it. He's worth the extension. He's definitely worth the extension. There's no doubt in my mind that he's worth a good $180 million extension, perhaps. Now, again, the one I would decide to actually utilize is Reed Detmers. Because I wouldn't want to give up on Patrick Sandoval. I've seen what he can be, and I wouldn't want to lose that out of the Angels rotation. Reed Detmers is the one that I would utilize. The other pieces I would utilize, I would give them probably Jose Suarez. That has been a disappointment, except for one season when he came to the Angels. And I don't know. I would just give him the change of scenery. You give him the change of scenery, see what he can, if he can really make something of himself. Other than that, he could be a spot starter, mostly long reliever, lefty out of the bullpen. You can't go wrong with that. Another piece sending would be Denzel Guzman, and probably our number 4 overall pick, our number 4 overall prospect. His name, his last name is Ruiz. We got him in the 3rd round out of Stanford. Looking at him as an outfielder, maybe. To me, it looks like he's a bat-only kind of guy. He may very well just wind up being nothing more than a DH. His defense is pretty much non-existent. He was a lousy infielder. He was not that great of an outfielder. They were tried testing him as a catcher. I don't know how well that's going, but he may very well be a bat-only kind of guy. But there's 5 guys right there that would be worth getting Corbin Burns. And again, like I said, extension. Extended for 8 years, $180 million. that would entice him to, come on over, stay here for a while. And then, hey, leave it to Barry Enright. See what he's capable of. Getting Tyler Anderson, getting Patrick Sandoval, Griffin Canning, Chase Silseth, getting them going. See what you can do with them. See what you can do with up-and-comers Davis Daniel and Kenny Rosenberg. These guys showed some great promise at the very end of last year. Who knows? Maybe they could, wind up being a decent spot starters. Long relievers out of the bullpen. I like the idea of that. Now, that's on the pitching side of things. On the hitting side of things, it said that they have checked in on Bellinger. That's a toss-up for me. That is a toss-up for me. He doesn't have a huge medical history, not a huge injury history in this particular case. One fluke injury that just kind of snowballed a little bit into a back injury, I think, and that was about it. And for like the last couple of years, he just wasn't the same Cody Bellinger until he went to the Cubs and reinvented himself. And hey, look at him now. It looks about, I'd say, 90 to 95% of the old Cody Bellinger. Excuse me, I feel goofy with that one. With that said, I'd say a 90-95% of Cody Bellinger would be pretty good, as long as he can stay healthy. That's the key right there, is him staying healthy. Now, other Boris clients that have graced the Angels' presence. Anthony Rendon. I sincerely hope that you are healthy, you're 100% healthy, and you stay in the lineup all season long. Because right now, we need you big time. We really, really do. The Angels need you at third base, that Gold Glove caliber defense of yours. Not to mention your bat. Your bat's still really good as long as you're in the lineup. Please stay in the lineup. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of really angry Angel fans. And you're going to be begging to get off the team. Trust me on this. So, anyway. Opinions elsewhere. Where can we go from here? J.D. Martinez is somebody who's still on the market. He's kind of a bat-only kind of player. His defense has really gone downhill over the years, so he's definitely a bat-only guy. His bat still is loud and proud. I would definitely give him a shot. I would sign him, put him in the lineup behind Trout. That would really, really wake that lineup up. See, other things, again, just other subtle little things. Obvious, as far as I know, the Angels still have Jared Walsh. I still see him being very good. I believe last year was a fluke. The year prior, he had that thoracic outlet syndrome issue that he was having. That ruined the second half of his season. He had that neurological problem going into this last season that kind of affected him. I think these are just flukes. This is not a trend in any way, shape, or form for Walsh. I think he's very, very capable of being still that all-star caliber player. So I would still hang on to him, see what he can bring to the table, and really, really kind of give him a shot again. He's more than worth it. Then again, so was David Fletcher, and you gave up on him. So I don't know where your heads are in this one. I have absolutely no idea where you plan to go with it. So, but with that said, no. Give Walsh another opportunity, and I think he will right the ship. I really believe he will. Taylor Ward, same thing. I know during arbitration that you weren't able to come to an agreement with him yet. I believe you will. I believe that he's still going to be in left field. I believe he's going to put last year behind him and look more like the 2022 version of Taylor Ward, which we really need. we really need that one. With that said, I think I'm going to end it there. I'm going to wish everyone a happy new year. I don't think I did that yet. So let's hope for a good year, Angel fans. Fans, fans of other teams, Dodger fans. I hope Ohtani's worth it. I really do, because you're gonna be on the boat for him for 10 years after he's retired. So, that's 16 mil right there. Although it's gonna be off the books, so it doesn't really matter. But with that said, I'm gonna end it right there. Go Halos.